Hey there Tim, here's your machine, the Breville Barista Express BES870 in silver. As we've discussed, this is a very clean unit. It's an ex-demo, so it's been very sparsely used, very little. It has some nice scratches around the front, not too bad, and some scratches on the left hand side, but generally I would give it an 8 out of 10, very clean condition. And I've just finished doing the service that involves cleaning, checking for pressure, checking for leaks, etc. and also calibrating the grinder. So it'll come ready to go for you, you don't have to mess about too much. The machine is ready to go, usually takes about a minute to warm up. You can keep the machine on for about 20 minutes until things heat up, such as the group handle, the top lid, the group head, the pipes, etc. If you're in a hurry and you can't wait for everything to warm up, you can just run a blank shot. So that involves pressing like a single or a double button and running some hot water through the system as well as into the cup, just to warm things up and make sure you're getting the best shot possible when you do make a coffee. So I like to do this every session. It also cleans any oils or coffee grounds. So let's try the double. These buttons here are programmable, so you can change them to whatever length of coffee you'd like. From factory they come quite long, I would say, slightly longer than I usually like them. So this is, I think, about 80 or 90 grams of water, which when you make a coffee, this will be about a 60 gram shot, slightly too long. I like it around the 40 gram mark, so I'm going to be resetting this button to what I think is the correct setting for espresso. So it's nice and hot now. I'll keep it on this side. And when you take the portafilter out, it's going to be wet, of course. You want to dry it before grinding the coffee. So grab a tissue or a towel. Just wipe it all across. This here is the double basket. Your machine comes with all 4 types. So the single wall variety, such as this one, this is the single wall double shot. And there's also the pressurized dual wall baskets. Those ones are for pre-ground coffee. These ones are for freshly ground beans. This takes 18 grams of coffee, so I'm going to aim to give you that much in this video by setting the settings or changing the settings to give you about 18 grams. Here I've got my scale. I'm going to use it. I think having a scale makes life really easy. So if you can, I would suggest you get one for your coffee endeavors. Just going to put it right here. Let me just close the window. That's much better. Yeah. So I'm going to turn on my scale. It'll be on 0, so we can accurately measure how much we get. At the moment, the grind size is at number 4. I think it's in the right ballpark. The only way to know if you have the right grind size, of course, is to make a coffee. And different beans will have different settings. I think number 4 is fine enough, but not too fine, maybe not too coarse as well. So we will try that. I don't think you should change it too often or too much. For example, when you receive the machine, just keep it on number 4 and try, and only change it by 1 setting at a time. If you change it too fine, too quick, that might clog your machine, and it might even damage your burrs. When you go all the way to the finest settings, the burrs are so close that they might actually start damaging each other. And that's not good when you don't need it, when you don't have the requirement for that fine a grind size. Take home message, keep it as is and see how you go. Okay, so here we've got the grind amount. This is how many grams or how much it will grind. But of course there's no set number, you have to calibrate it or determine how much is enough. So let's keep it at 12 o'clock. Let's keep it on single. You can put it on double, so that's the double the amount. I personally like to keep it on single and do it twice, just that because it makes less of a mess, in terms of ground coffee spilling everywhere. Great. So this is my first go at it. Let's see how many grams that is. That's 8.8, so very good. I'm going to keep it there. Hopefully by the end of the second grind, we will have... Oh, where's the tamper? Hopefully by the end we'll have the full 18 grams. So grind your first dose, press it down, then grind it in. So when you press it down, this will compact it and make it less bulky. That's my second dose. That's 17.5, so it's a touch less than I was hoping, but that's still okay. I can still make a coffee with this, no problem. It's only 0.5 grams, lower than I was aiming for. You can try this setting. I'm not sure how many grams that would give you. I would presume 9 grams, maybe just over 9 grams. So I will keep it at 12 o'clock and I'll let you experiment with the rest. So this here gave us about 8.8 grams. This here might give you about 9, maybe just over 9 grams per click. So I'll keep it on 12 o'clock. You can try that if that's suitable. I guess keep it there. If you don't have a scale and you just want to know if you have the right amount of coffee, a good tip I like to use is grind slightly more coffee than you need and remove the excess by your finger. That's what most of the professionals do. They just remove the excess. They sort of trim it with their finger, or maybe you can use a card or the razor tool even, and then press it down. When you press it down, I'll show you. So as you see, I'm roughly flattening the coffee with my palm. You can use different methods, your fingers, your palm. You can use different tools to make this easier. But anyway, I'm just using my fingers here and bunch it up and press it down nice and firm. And you will see that when you have the right amount, so in this case I have 17.5 grams, which is just a touch less than the right amount, but it's still okay. The tamper goes as deep as this silver part here. So that's the depth that approximately 18 grams looks like. So I've put 18 grams, I've tamped it down nice and firm. Make sure it's nice and level, not wonky, and make sure that it's like a smooth surface. And you'll see that the depth that it goes to is about as deep as the silver part here. If it's all the way up to here and you can't press it any deeper, then that's too much coffee. And frankly, that will probably break your machine if you try to force it onto the machine. Anyway, that's 17, let's say 18 grams. Clean the edges before you put it in and lock it in. It is like a fairly fresh silicone seal, so you don't have to push it all the way for a good seal. I see that it's fairly tight at 6 o'clock, so I wouldn't push it further than dead center, at least for the time being. Maybe in the next few months or few years it might soften and allow you to push it a little bit to the right, but don't force it. Dead center is more than enough for the time being. I will dunk this hot water, and now it's ready to make the coffee. So like I said, I'm going to program the button for you. I'm going to turn on my scale and I'm going to aim for a doubling of the mass, so a doubling of the 18 grams in terms of coffee. So 18 will become 36. I want 36 grams of liquid coffee into this cup here. And I'm going to use the scale to confirm that. And I'm going to change the machine setting so that it gives you approximately that much. Okay. So 0. When you make the coffee, make sure you pay attention to two things: the speed of the coffee and like how smooth it comes out, and the pressure gauge. You want the pressure to be in the top range, so between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. And the flow should be nice and smooth, symmetrical on both sides. If it's too quick, I would make this 1 click finer and try again. If it's too slow, I would make it 1 click coarser and try again. So program, and then I'm going to press the button I want to program, so double. I'm also going to time it because I want that doubling to happen in 20 to 30 seconds. Very nice, looks really good. So it started dripping at about the 10-second mark, which is pretty on the spot, I would say, on the dot. Pressure is at 1 o'clock, perfect. And we're approaching 25 seconds now, and I'll stop it right there. This looks to be about 30 to 40 grams, which is just what I was aiming for. We have some very smooth flow, good crema, good pressures. that's 35.5. So pretty much a 2-to-1 ratio. 35.4. So very good, I would say. So now every time you make a coffee using that double button, you'll get approximately the same amount of coffee, which is very good. Yeah, I usually don't drink espresso straight. I drink milk-based drinks, but we don't have time to make a milk-based drink in this situation. So I'm just going to show you the other features. But before that, let's clean. So you want to knock the coffee out into a knockbox or a bin. I do have a spare one to sell if you're interested. A Breville knockbox. After you knock it off, you want to run a blank shot. So just press the single or double to rinse any coffee grounds and oils in the group head and in the portafilter. So yeah, you can keep these settings and see how you go. Perfect. Now you can just lock it on maybe every couple of days, every day, or every week at least. You can grab a tissue, wipe the group head just to remove any loose coffee grounds. In this case, there aren't many. I've already done the cleaning cycles on this machine beforehand, so it's pretty clean up there. It's an espresso, and to make it into a latte, of course, you can add milk or hot water. So hot water to make it an Americano coffee. That's the hot water tap. It'll give you piping hot water straight from the boiler, so it'll bypass the group head and it'll bypass those coffee grounds. And the steamer, of course, is to steam some milk for a latte or a cappuccino. You just have to learn the right technique. So I would fill my milk jug halfway, and then when this starts steaming in 10-15 seconds, I would put it so that the tip of the tip of the milk wand breaks the surface just a little bit, and sort of spins the milk in a circle in the milk jug. So I would turn it off, get my jug, put it at an angle, turn it back on. Sort of spinning the milk, and then I would turn it off. Make sure you purge it afterwards, so that means just getting some steam out to remove any milk on the insides, and grab a wet towel and wiping this clean, of course, which I've already done. That's all you need to do to make a coffee on the Breville Barista Express. Hope you enjoy the machine. If you have any questions, always feel free to message me. I'm always available to help. And yeah, thanks for your purchase. See you soon.